Shabbat Shalom. Every relationship requires commitment. Honesty, a word is a word, a commitment is a commitment, and of course marriage demands it even more. Because if you're not honest with each other, what do you have? Especially if you want to have an intimate relationship, there's nothing more important than an honest relationship. That is why the Torah teaches us that if a person is thinking of divorce, having an intimate relationship is off the books. Because how could you be together when you're thinking about breaking this relationship? Now, I don't want to get into the details of these laws, how this works, when it works, and so on and so forth. That's already a whole nother discussion. But let's just use this as an analogy of our relationship with God. Because after all, we are standing just weeks away from the high holidays, when we know that the idea of the high holidays, blowing the shofar, this year we're going to do that only on the second day, on Sunday, is the idea of coronating God as our King, rejuvenating, renewing our vows, our relationship with God. So since this idea of a relationship with God, our marriage with God, we have to think this year, what does it mean for us to be connected to God, like in any marriage? And this year especially, we have to really think about this because after all, it's been a tough 6 months. I mean, let's be honest. Who has not been thinking about God in our lives and what God means to us and what we mean to God? After all, it's not been easy, right? This coronavirus has been tough on everybody. We've all been thinking, has God been thinking about us? What our lives has been, this been topsy-turvy. But, if you think about it, we've had social distancing, we have to have masks, we've had to have quarantining and all these different kind of life experiences. But like in any relationship, sometimes wearing a mask is good. I mean, keeping your mouth shut, not saying everything is not such a bad thing. Giving people distance, a little bit of space, maybe is not such a bad thing. But on the other flip side, some things are good, right? Quarantining with somebody who you love, spending time together, getting to know the person even better than you knew them before, what could be better, right? Working from home, actually working together with somebody you love in your home, that brings your relationship even more closer together. So you think about it, the same thing also is our relationship with God. This year, when it comes to high holidays, and we make a decision that we're going to pray to God, it's not anymore something that we did every single year because we didn't have anything better to do when it comes to high holidays, and we did it because this is how we grew up. This year, when we do these things, we're doing it because we want to. We're doing this because we want to have this relationship. So the thought of divorcing God out of our lives is something that we have to think about. We can't even have that thought enter our minds. And if we do, we're in trouble because we can't have that kind of relationship with God. So I just want to finish with this idea that we have to think. It's not just any kind of relationship. It has to be an intimate relationship with God, obviously on the spiritual level, and think about what kind of relationship we want to have. And when we say Shana Tova, Umetuka, we want to have a good year and a sweet year. This is about an intimate, close relationship with God. And we have to do something about it. Just like in any relationship, it takes work and an effort. So too is our relationship with God has to have work, and we have to put effort into it. And we have to make our house a house of God, a house that we put effort and emphasis that we could quarantine together with God in a meaningful and a spiritual way. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova Umetuka.